Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Robert Gregory Partners podcast series on protecting the assets. My name is Greg Smith, your host for the session. I'm joined again today by partner and managing director Maria Sullivan, or Sully, as we affectionately refer to her. In part 1 of this discussion, Sully shared some relatable experience in managing and navigating through turbulent times. She also introduced us to the concept of resilience and how it's such a critical skill in managing oneself and also supporting others. Sully, can I ask you to refresh us on the model you described to us?
Thanks, Greg. Certainly happy to. You want to think about it as a 6-part model, like you had a pizza pie in front of you divided into 6 delicious slices. The first one is health, right? You want to be thinking about your well-being, your sleep, your hydration, your nutrition. The second piece of the model is about vision. Often under extreme circumstance, we forget the why, or we forget to talk to others about the why. So be sure and be crisp about the vision, where you're going. Next part is composure. Manage yourself, manage your presentation to others, be aware of what your natural tendencies are under stress and mitigate those to the extent that you can. Reasoning, creative problem solving, being planful in how you approach things, taking the time to get others' input and ensure that you are taking advantage of resources that are available. Next comes collaboration. Sometimes under pressure, we tend to under-communicate. We will undervalue the input from others. Collaboration often will suffer in these trying times. And then finally, tenacity. And that's made up of 2 pieces, persistence and optimism. You want to make sure that you're dialed up on both of them. There's nothing that people need from you right now more than optimism.
Very interesting, Sully. Thank you for refreshing us on the model there. I recall in our conversation before, too, that you shared resilience, although it may sound like a personality trait to some, is actually a developable skill. Can we ask you to share a few insights with us around how we might gain increased self-awareness and potentially some lift on our own capabilities here?
Absolutely. When you think about resilience in this holistic model, you can see that it's less about developable skill and more about management of your own blind spots. So my hope is with clients, when I share this model with them, that they see a couple of places where they might naturally have stepped back. They might not be fully expressing themselves in each of these areas. One of the things that I do with them in order to help them embody all 6 pieces of the resilience model is I ask them to name someone in their mind who is a model of resilience. Someone who expresses optimism, is persistent, continues to charge forward and talk about the bigger vision, where we're going and why we're all working so hard to get there, is open and creative and resourceful even in the face of crisis. Those kind of people, if you imagine them in your mind, sometimes that can help you guard against some of your natural tendencies during difficult times.
Wonderful. And I love the visual there to help us think through and heighten our own self-awareness around resilience. So I really appreciate that description and again, the reference to the developability of it. Can I ask you to share some practical and actionable tips for our listeners today on what they might do to increase their own personal resilience?
Certainly. The first place I'd start is the logical place most people start, and that's with health. In times of crisis, we naturally need to bleed our stress off, and health is a key piece to be monitoring. Monitor your energy, monitor your hydration, make sure you're getting enough sleep, de-stress to the extent that you can, manage your nutrition for maximum energy. These are things that will help keep you in balance and improve your immunity. There are lots of resources available for this on the web today, but it's a primary place always to start in the face of crisis. The next piece is composure. During times of crisis, people have heightened awareness of the leader and what emotional signals the leader is giving off. We have mirror neurons in our brain that cause us to actually unconsciously mimic the emotional state that the leader is portraying. It's really important in this difficult time that you're managing your composure, that you are calm and confident and clear in your communication so that you are giving people's unconscious the signal that all is well and we're going to get through this together. Next comes vision. The old saying, without a vision, the people will perish. This is absolutely true in times of crisis. We're working so hard and we're so focused on our existential crisis, we can underplay the importance of seeing the bigger picture. Please always refer to the why we're doing this, how it connects to our values, how great it's going to be when we're on the other side of it. Because without a connection to the bigger picture, it just feels like an endless sea of to-dos. Finally, tenacity, specifically optimism. It's really, really important that you be optimistic for people today. I want to point out there's a big difference between being optimistic and Pollyanna-ish. We don't want the Pollyanna piece. We want the optimistic piece. Consider for just a moment how great we're going to be as a result of coming through this crisis. How good things are going to be. What's the silver lining in this crisis? It gives us a chance to be excited about the medical breakthroughs that are going to come, the technology breakthroughs that are going to come, the people breakthroughs that are going to come as a result of this circumstance. Please let people see your optimism, see the silver lining, and help them see it too. It gives everybody the fortitude to take on yet another thing in this crazy world.
Well, I agree. It's exciting to take the optimistic view of the wonderful things that will come out of all of this uncertainty. So thank you, Sully, for your experience, your optimism, your insights. I really like how you shared, and I appreciate it in part one of the series, how you equated this to having each of us put our oxygen masks on first. So I appreciate that you guide us in that, and you also shared with us how to put our oxygen mask on first and then help others. So listeners, thanks so much for joining Robert Gregory Partners for part 2 of our Navigating Leadership series. We look forward to talking with you again soon.